You're welcome back to Larbi Premium Educational Consult. Today's section, we are looking at a question on break-even analysis based on the previous video I've done so far to clarify all understandings right from the beginning to this section that we are having. So this is part 4 for the break-even analysis, and it's question and answers section. We are taking questions to clarify so far we have done on our previous video. So let's go into it. Larbi Premium manufactures a product XYZ which has the following details for the coming year. Face cost $200,000, unit selling price $160, unit variable cost $80, sorry. Then planned output for 5,000 units. So let's see the requirements. You are required to A. Construct a traditional break-even chart showing clearly your fixed cost, total revenue, total cost, break-even point, and your margin of safety. I think we have covered all these in the previous videos, the meaning behind this and how we actually calculated in the formulas involved. So you can check the description section of this video. I've given the links there. You can watch right away from there so that you can build your understanding right from there. Then B, you are asked to depict the new break-even point on a chart if the variable cost and the fixed cost is increased by 10%. with other variables remaining the same. So meaning that the other variable, their increase won't be what? Though it's going to be affected, but here they have not actually indicated. But remember, when there is a change in these variables like variable cost and fixed cost, that's an approximate change in other variables. But in this question, it didn't actually indicate how the percentage of the change. That's what we're actually talking about. It didn't actually indicate the percentage of the change in other variables. That is why he's saying that with other variables remaining the same. So if there's a change in the variable cost and the fixed cost, then it's going to change, but actually indicate the percentage of changing that variable. So we need to take note of that. So here, before you start with this kind of question, you need to do some workings before you start. Okay. So you're going to have column or table to represent your units, which is the 5,000 units, then your total fixed cost, your total variable cost, and your even total revenue. As you said, there's unit selling price multiplied by the output and others. Okay, but because of this, you're asked to depict a new break-even point. Anytime you are going to have a fixed cost, you need to have what? A new fixed cost column for it. The same thing for variable cost. You also have what? A new variable cost column for it. And this is the table actually I'm talking about. So here you're going to have our units here. Then it's our fixed cost. The fixed cost was the $200,000 that we are talking about. So that one gonna be here. Straight up, you know, fixed cost is fixed. Then the new fixed cost is gonna be in terms of the percentage change in the fixed cost. Then you're going to have that one recorded here. Then the variable cost, which was what? 80. This $80 we're also gonna be here. After multiplying with the output, I get a total variable cost. But your new variable cost will be where there was an application of the 10% increase on the variable cost. Then that one also gonna be recorded at this side. Then your total cost, you know, your total cost is what? Your fixed cost plus your variable cost. So you get a total cost where you're going to have your original fixed cost plus your original variable cost, and you get your total cost. I hope that is clear. Then for you to get your new total cost, also as a result of your new variable cost, right? Sorry, your new fixed cost plus your new variable cost, and you get your new total cost. Then total revenue to here, there is output that you're going to get multiplied by the unit selling price, which is what? 160. Then you're going to record that one also as well on this section, on this column. Okay, let's record it on this column. Then your new total revenue will be the same because of the change in other variables like the variable cost and the fixed cost. You're going to also record the same thing, though you have indicated new total variable to make a difference so that we see that actually when you're talking about new, you're talking about new fixed cost, new variable cost, and then new total revenue, so that the line won't be misleaded. Okay, so you're going to record the same thing. You're going to be 160 multiplied by the output in units, then we are good to go. But if we were to be a change in the total revenue, then your selling price would have been what? Changed, and the question would have what? Indicate that, so that you cleared yourself with that. So after that, you compare your total cost and your total revenue. If there is a gain or loss, that is, if there is a profit or loss, if it's a profit, you just indicate it. If it's a loss, you indicate then put some brackets. Okay, so this one will be the original profit or loss, and this will be the new profit or loss because of the change in the variable cost and then fixed cost. You're going to get a new what profit or what loss column for it. So that is the column we're going to go about. So here, the 5,000 units that we are asked to, plot on our graph or indicate on our graph. This is what you're going to do. You are going to segment or segregate. Sorry, you're going to segregate that 5,000. I'm going to divide them into what? Into small pieces so that you can spread it. Break even, you try to spread it so that you can spread the units to cover all the total cost and that of even the variable, the component, variable cost, and then the fixed cost. So you're going to divide this into what smaller sections. So this is what you're going to do. You're going to break it down. So for me, I'll start with 500 units. So I'll say 500 units. So your last unit that you need to present it on the unit variable should be equal to the 5,000 units here. So here I'm going to break it down. Say that I'm going to start with what 500. So 500 units will be my first what units variable, units planned units rather. Then second will be 1,000. Third will be 1,500. Fourth will be 2,000. Fifth will be 2,500. Sixth will be what 3,000. Seventh will be 3,500. Eighth will be 4,000. Ninth will be 4,500. And 10th will be what 5,000. So that's what I'm trying to talk about. So you're going to break it down. Anytime you have the points, always try to break it down into smaller pieces so that your last units will be equivalent to or be equal to the last output that was given in the question. So this is what I'm talking about. So here I'm going to have 500 units, then I'll come say 1,000, then 1,500, then 2,000, 2,500, and say 3,000, 3,000, 3,500, and say 4,000, then 4,500, and say what 5,000. Sorry, 5,000. So that you're going to get all these presented here. 5,000. Oh, that is clear. Okay, so that is how you go. But anytime you have the units, just break them down. Let's say we're having, let's say 3,000. If that would have been the case, then I would like to go say I'll start from, let's say 200. Or so always you present in a way that you can easily plot it, because if you come up with any breakdowns where you cannot easily plot it, it becomes very difficult. So always you come with a way you can easily plot it. Let's say we're up to, let's say 4,000. If we do 4,000, I'll go by say the same 500,000 times 500. So I'll break it down. Okay, so it depends on issues. Let's say we're having 1,000 units of output. Here I'll go by, let's say 100 as my first, 100 units of as first. Then I'll move on 200, 300, 400 in that order till I get to 1,000. So that is how this aspect works. So always you take note of that. Now, my original first cost in the question was given, which was what $200,000. This one, this one. This 200. You know, first cost is first, though. At every level of activity, first cost is first, unless there is what a plan change becomes first in nature. Unless there is a plan change, becomes first in nature. So here, I'm going to have here to be. Remember, here is in dollars, so you need to have that one here indicated, 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 indicated. You have that indication. So I'm going to record straight away. I'm going to record 200,000 at various levels of activity of output. Then, so this one is straight away. Just record. $200,000. Just record silently. Then lastly, so whether you produce or not, you're going to get a fixed cost. Remember, fixed cost is a periodic cost. Whether you produce or not, you're going to what? Get it. So take note. Okay. Then now we come to our names. We are filling columns by columns. Okay. Then we come to our new. Then we come to our new what? Fixed cost column, which is this. So here they said that we are to depict the new break-even point on the chart if the variable cost and the fixed cost is increased by 10%, we are going to have that increase by 10%. So we're going to have it on our workings here. So here, so that I can say that here, this is what I'm going to do. 10% means that, as well, let's say we take the original fixed cost to be 100%. Then if there is 10% increase, meaning you're going to add 10% to 100%, then you're going to get what? 110%. Or better still, just weigh the 10% on the fixed cost, right? Whatever you get, you also add back to the original fixed cost, and that will be for the new fixed cost column. So here, when I work the 10% on the fixed cost, I had $20,000. So when I add up to the $200,000 here, I'm going to get 220. So meaning that your new fixed cost is gonna be 220. You can also try and work yours as well with your calculator or any device for calculation. Meaning that 10% on the 200 is going to be 20,000. So when I add up to the original first, I'm going to get $20,000. So here they say they're going to record. Remember, first cost is first. So the same going to be recorded here as various what activity level. Then and lastly 220,000. That is my first cost. First cost, whether you produce or not, you won't care. So you take note of that. Okay, now then we get to your variable cost, original variable cost column. There's it. You know, your variable cost per unit was given. That unit variable cost of what? 80,000. The question made that indication that it was giving us what? 80,000. This one I'm talking about. This one, yes. So here, all that you need to do for you to get the total variable cost, meaning that you need to multiply your unit variable cost by the output. That is the units here. So all I will be doing here, you take your calculator work 80, you multiply by 500. Then I had what? 40,000. I'm going to record 40,000 here. Then I'll do same. I'll do same for 1,002. I'll multiply by the 80. I'm going to get what? 1,000 multiplied by 80. And come in. So 1,000 multiplied by, you're going to get, I think you're going to get what? 80,000, right? Yeah, sure, 80,000. 80,000. Then you come back to your 1,500, the same 80 multiplied by the same 80 multiplied by your 1,500. You're getting 120,000. Then the same 80 multiplied by 2,000. You're getting 160,000. Can also check yours and let's see. Then 2,500 multiplied by 80, you can get what? 200,000. I had 200,000, so can also check yours and let's see. Then the same 80 multiplied by 3,000, I had 240,000. 240,000. the same 80 multiplied by 3,500. I had 280. I had 280,000, then the same 80 multiplied by 4,000. I had 320. 320, then the same 80 multiplied by 4,500. Then I had 260,000. So it's going to go and go and go and go until you get to the last. So that's how it's gonna be. Then you're going to get here to what? $400,000. Then you get to the new variable cost. As we did that of the total fixed cost, the 10% going to apply on the increase of the variable cost. Okay, here you can decide to apply 10% on your unit variable cost, then multiply by the output, or better still, so that way you can apply the 10% on your original variable cost, then you get your new variable cost. Okay, so that one too, the same approach. You work 10% on your variable cost, each variable cost, then you add the same 10% you had to the variable cost that you worked 10% on, and that is all. Or better still, you assume that each variable cost level is having a 100% cost. So here you add the 10% to the 100%, you're going to get to 110%. And you multiply 110% on each variable cost per the output, then you get your new variable cost. So let's get into that one and see whether you also had the same thing. So as I said in that one, then you get your new variables. So the same thing, 10% applied on your original variable cost at various level, then add it what you had on the 10% on each variable cost, then you also add up to your original variable cost. Okay, so let's say I work 10% on the 40,000. I had, let's say, 4,000. Okay, now add the 4,000 to the 40,000. I'm getting what? 44,000. I work 10% on 80,000. I had what? 8,000. Then I'll add 8,000 to 80,000 and I'm getting 88. So that's how it goes all the way from here to the down one, which is here. So the same thing gonna be applied in the subsequent if there is a change or increase in any variables. Okay, then now we get into our total cost. Total cost here is your original fixed cost total plus your original variable cost, which is this fixed cost and this variable cost. We are going to add up. So let's get into it. So you also do yours, I'm also doing mine, so that we see at the end of the day whether we had the same answer or not. So I'm waiting for your answer. There we go. So you're going to get 240. So here you add your fixed cost, which is what? 200,000 plus your variable, which is 40 times, you're going to get 240. 200,000 for the second, which is 1,000 units, and you're going to get a fixed cost of which is what? 200,000 plus your 8 times, you're going to get 280. So the same is also down for the rest. Then just add our fixed cost. We said total fixed cost, total cost go to your total fixed cost plus total variable cost, and that's what we actually have done here so far. So the same thing, 200,000 plus your 120, getting what? 320. Then the same thing we've done for the rest. So let's get into your new total cost. New total cost, as we said earlier on, is also gonna be your new fixed cost plus your new variable cost, because these were the variable that was increasing. Okay, so you're going to add the two, then you're going to get our new total cost. So let's see what you're going to get. So I'm also working my. So there we go. We are having our new total cost, which was as a result of your new fixed cost plus your new variable cost. So 220 plus 220,000 plus 44,000 is gonna fetch you what? 264,000, and in that order, 220,000 plus 88,000, then the same thing, 220,000 plus 132,000, and follow. So new fixed cost plus your new variable cost, gonna get you new total cost. So let's come to the revenue. So revenue, we said that revenue, for which you get total revenue. Total revenue is your unit selling price, which was this 160,000 multiplied by your output, 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 which is the units of this. These are the units I'm talking about. So we take 160. So this one too, let's compute it and see. So I'm waiting for your answer, as I also doing mine. Okay, there we go. Then I have my total revenue. So it's as a result of my unit output multiplied by my output, various outputs are multiplied by my unit selling price of what? 160, unit price of 160,000. Sorry, $160, sorry, $160 per $160 per what unit. So I'll multiply the $160 per unit multiplied by my units, and I'll get my total revenue. So take note. So that's what we are talking about. Your unit selling price is $160 multiplied by your output, then you get your revenue, total revenue. What about our new total revenue? Remember, there wasn't any change or percentage change in that of your new selling price. So we are assuming, so we are saying that if that is so, then your original total revenue, sorry, will be equal to your new total revenue. Okay, because there wasn't any change, so we're going to just repeat the same thing here. So we get to repeat it, 80,000, then 160,000, 240,000. So you're going to repeat the same thing, right? So with your profit or loss column, all I need to do just to compare your total cost and your total revenue, whether it's an original total cost or new total cost or new revenue or new to just compare the two. Okay, just compare the two. So here I'll compare my total cost, which is the original total cost, with my original total revenue. Okay, if there is a profit, there will be a profit where your total revenue will exceed your total cost. Okay, there will be a profit where your total revenue will exceed your total cost. But if there is a loss, meaning that your total cost is exceeding your total revenue, so you need to take note of that. So as I said earlier on, if there is a loss, you put it on brackets. If there is a profit, you just open it without putting on brackets. So here you're comparing this, your 80,000 to your total cost, which is what? 240. So meaning that your total cost exceeds your total revenue, so there will be a loss. So you're going to put them on bracket. The loss of, let's see, 240 minus 80. I had 160 as a loss, 160,000 as a loss. So that's what you're going to do. So if there is a profit, you just open it, you don't put it on bracket. But if there is a loss, you put it on bracket. So a loss in a sense where your total cost will exceed your total revenue, a profit in a sense where your total revenue will exceed your total cost. Okay, so let's fill it together. Okay, so I'm waiting for yours as I'm filling mine. Okay, so as I said, that's what we're going to have. So where you see the zero, that's actually where we are breaking. At times you can get your break-even point on your workings where you're doing your workings on your question paper or anything of that, or the workings where you're having your workings. You can break even there. If break even, meaning that you are actually on the way, your answers on the graph also will be the same. But where you are not getting your break even on your workings, doesn't mean that you are wrong, but you are likely also to get it on your graph when you plot it, assuming you did everything correctly. And if you are not still getting it on your workings, you're going to get it on the graph once you plot it. So let's take note of that. So anytime you don't get it on your workings, that doesn't mean that you're wrong. You can get it on your graph. Okay, if you did everything perfectly, you need to get the break-even point on your graph as well. So let's take note of it. So that's why we go by. You just compare where there is a loss, put them bracket, where there is what profit, just open it. So here is my break-even point, and my break-even unit is what? 2,500 as my break-even point. Should we take note of that? So you get to know as we plot it on the graph. So the same thing also be done for the new profit or loss. You're going to compare to new total revenue with your new total cost, then you get the same for. So I'm waiting for yours as I'm doing mine. Okay, so there we go with your new profit or loss column. So the same approach, we compare your new total revenue to your new total cost. Then you see here you didn't break even because of the change. So but when you go to the graph, we're going to break even. So let's get onto the graph aspect of this.